Hey guys, and welcome. The gods have failed us. We must turn to the king now for hope and answers. I'm a Robert Ducker War, and today we have the grim forces of the Tomb Kings up against the equally grim vampire counts. It's going to be an undead showdown. Should be a good fun one. This is ODM's Tretch versus Mr. Tefel, I believe. Tretch in charge of the Tomb Kings here, and Tefel in charge of the Vampire Coast. And we do have Cetra leading the battle charge for the Tomb Kings. Notoriously doesn't seem to get on very well with any of the gods of the undead. Perhaps because he's too much of a Chad to die. And of course, Cetra does not serve. So we are looking to the king here for some guidance. In the main battle line, it is going to be Tomb Guard mixed in with Skeleton Warriors. I love to see people mix in these heavy infantry with the light infantry as well. It certainly does help out considerably, particularly if a unit like the Kepra Guard in the center, they can really bring the pain quite a lot. With a load more skeleton spearmen, as well as basic warriors on the outskirts, some skeleton archers in the middle, including the Blessed Legion. They are going to be the Regiment of Renown here today. And with the Mighty Knights, the Sneaky Snakos, one on the right and one on the left. Pretty cool build for sure. Looks like we have some horsemen escorting Cetra as he ventures forward towards enemy territory. For the forces of the Vampire Counts, we have a juicy little air force. We have some Fellbats, 1, 2, and 3. We then have a Terrorgeist, as well as a Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Of course, Helm of Discord will be his main kind of weapon of choice, cycle charging in and out where possible. It's not really a Vampire Count build without some zombies. It's like Bretonia and their peasants. You just have to bring them, just to give them a little bit of day out in the sun here. And they're certainly going to be roasting in the desert heat. In the back line, we have Graveguard as well, mixed in with some Skeleton Spearmen, as well as the Sternsmen, who are just nice, super tanky, one of the stickiest units in the game. We have Verix Reavers, regiment-renowned Black Knights on this far flank, as well as a cheeky Corpse Car. And we have some White Kings as well, of course. It's Vampire Counts. In any competitive build, you're going to see White Kings. It's just the thing to do. So let's get this battle started. Verix Reavers will be reaving on the right-hand flank, looking to sneak in and around, perhaps behind the enemy, to shut down that Archer core. That's something that the Tomb Kings really do have an advantage over the Vampire Counts on. There is only similar factions in the back, but in the fact they're both, scummy undead, but the range tool for Tomb Kings really does set them apart. And I also think aesthetically they're a little bit cooler, but hey, I know there's a lot of Vampire Count lovers out there as well, and they're pretty cool. I mean, come on, we've got White Kings, we've got zombies, and Verix Reavers are a unit I'm a big fan of in general. So it looks like we are going to get the nasty little breath, oh no, not breath, but like tear, I guess, attack coming in from the White King. That's certainly going to make the Blessed Legion cry if they had eyes, taking a bucket ton of damage down to about half HP at the moment. They are starting to unleash hell, and it looks like a rather interesting gambit has gone down on this side. So the Tomb Kings have charged in, looking to overrun zombies very close to the Verix Reavers, perhaps trying to bait them in, knowing that the Knights were nearby as well as Archer support. So I think the Vampire Count play have a pretty good restraint there not to charge directly in. Tomb Kings will be realigning their formation, it seems, trying to rotate around, perhaps take half of the Vampire Count force on in one go and leave the rest for later. But I think it's a really smart plan. If you can outmaneuver your enemy, it can be tough to make work, but it's actually quite a solid, sound strategy. Cetra's rolling dirty, of course. He's got to be a little bit scared. The Terrorgeists do stalk the skies, and they can certainly swoop down and pick at him with pretty much impunity, unless he is surrounded by his knights or perhaps his archers. It looks like the Terrorgeist is going full Leroy Jenkins style here. He smells blood somehow. Cetra's got like a vial of blood on him or something, and the Terrorgeist is like, yep, I smell that, and goes straight in after it. He's taking significant damage here. He's being pinned in place. Looks like we are about to get a spell go down as well. What is that spell going to be? It is going to be Incantation of Desiccation, lowering the melee attack and melee defense. Plus, we have the range attacks coming in. It is looking really, really rough for this Terrorgeist right now. My God, the amount of damage he's taking, despite getting an invocation, heck, he may be out of the game, but just slithering to freedom here. It did allow the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord to get a big breath attack going down the line, and you can see in the back, the Fellbats are just having a whale of a time. Throw your bat wings in the air like you just don't care, and just start slapping up these archers at all times, and they're doing a really good job shutting them down. Looks like one unit of archers was able to stabilize a little bit, probably due to the nearby help out of the homies, the Mighty Knights here. Skeleton Spearmen going to be advancing around. We're about to see a frontal charge from the Verix Reavers clattering into those Skeleton Warriors, sending them flying. They are going to get counter-charged, though, by the Knights, and the Verix Reavers definitely want to pull out of this fight as quickly as possible. In the middle, you can see Cetra the Impenetrable getting hacked and sliced by a Graveguard, but he should do a decent work, particularly supported by his loyal Tomb Guard there. The big bats in the sky are causing quite a few problems for the Tomb Kings, though, flying around, using their breath attacks, and just getting some fantastic engagements. Very nice to see the Terrorgeist did survive. We get a big breath attack go down the line on the Kepler Guard, but he's no dragon at the end of the day. He is but a Terrorgeist. I'm sure if I caught him in a dark alley, I would probably not admit that to him, but his breath attacks really are lackluster in comparison to the might of a fully grown dragon. We've got some spearmen in the back. Just looks like they're on guard duty at the moment, attempting to protect the skeleton archers who are unleashing salvo after salvo into the enemy. Unfortunately, currently shooting zombies, which isn't going to be the best use of their time. Definitely want to start focusing down these big birdies in the sky. The Necropolis Knights are going to be moving up. They're doing some decent work here to the Graveguard. It looks like the Kepler Guard are all but spent. Unfortunately, took quite a few nasty shots from the White Kings. Cetra's fine at the moment. I'm surprised he's not been sniped as much as I would have expected by this point, with the big Terrorgeist going after him. He's a very powerful melee combatant, though, and that fire attack, of course, can certainly help out quite a bit, doing a lovely explosion on the Verix Reavers here, as well as the zombies. You get a second zombie summon unit being summoned, though. It's a really smart play here. Well, the Vampire Count player is attempting to do his pin in Cetra to allow him, the Terrorgeist, to really get down and dirty and stop Cetra from falling back, although it looks like he's just about going to be pulling through. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is on arrival, however. Vampire Count's doing a solid job in the middle. You can see the Corpse Carts are supporting the Infantry Corps relatively effectively, and the Vex Reavers have been bounding around the battlefield comfortably. Looks like the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord has had enough, though, of these pesky archers trying to pierce his mighty mount, and he's going to be dealing with them in the only way he knows how, by ripping, tearing, and going for sheer brutality. Cetra's on his heels, though, and Cetra hits like an absolute truck. There's some really fun Tomb King builds back in the day I used to try out with the Triple Chariots, which could certainly do a bit of a number over on Blood Dragon Vampire Lords like this one. Skeleton Spearmen are fighting zombies. This is the ultimate wet noodle contest. The skeletons should prove victorious, but it's going to take them about 50 years to do so. But I guess in skeleton lives, that's, you know, a week maybe at best. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is... No, okay, I thought he was coming up for a big breath attack. It looks like he has decided against that. Skeleton Archers are still somehow firing. Really good micros so far by the Tomb King player, keeping those guys alive. Cetra as well has been just all over the battlefield. Very lovely display from him so far. Big breath attack does come in, though, aiming at the Knights, looking to take them off the field. Certainly not a bad idea. And now we have the mighty Ushopti doing decent work, carving their way through Graveguard. These bad boys are just summoned, though, so they won't be here forever. Luckily for them, their opponents aren't exactly swift enough to kite them. Being undead themselves, they're a little bit slumberous and ponderous in their movements. Tomb Guard are moving back into the action. Skeletons are clearing up the zombies, which is always good to see. The double kind of flies is still pretty scary now. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord uses a lot of his magic to heal up the Terrorgeist, as we can see. He definitely needs to save some of that healing for himself. He's looking a little bit worse for wear right now. They're using their ability to try to just pick apart the flanks of this Tomb King build. Looks like they're using the cavalry for just that as well. Up to 48 kills so far on the Verix Reavers. Only 700 value, though, so not been the best day for them. They were countered and shut down relatively early on, unfortunately for them, by the mighty Sneaky Snakes. Cetra's still just rolling around, up to no good. In trouble in the Corpse Cart neighborhood. Would really like to see the Terrorgeist and Lord go for a bit of a double snipe on him, because if anything's going to carry the Tomb Kings in the late game, it will certainly be him. Likewise, for the Vampire Counts, it will be their Lord. So taking out the enemy Lord is going to be a pretty big boon. Blessed Legion are still firing, though, and they are a problem alongside the Skeleton Archers. We do get a breath attack coming down the line, and that does actually slay 2 of the Knights. Not bad there. A little bit of a bang for your buck. The Archer's going to continue to pepper in, aiming at the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, who is swooping in once more. Lovely play by the Tomb King player, though, moving his resources around to counter this. He's going to be coming in with the Snakes as well as Cetra. Decides in the end, though, not to go after the big Lord, and instead swoop in for the kill on the Terrorgeist, trying to take away the lesser of the threats first and work their way up the food chain. White Kings, though, are pretty gnarly, and they're still both alive and decent HP-wise as well. Cetra's going to have to do some pretty hardcore cycle charging, I think, here in the latter stages of the battle. The dragon landed, the zombies were summoned, but he's still taking a bucket ton of firepower. The Blessed Legion getting a lick in or two, and Skeleton Archers attempt to do crossfire here to save their regiment of renowned counterparts. But I don't know if that's going to be enough. He's looking pretty angry today. Blood Dragon Vampire Lords are notorious for getting up on the wrong side of the bed. And yeah, covered in blood of both friend and foe. Actually, I don't know where he's got that blood from. I guess it must be himself. Because vampires are technically living. Do vampires bleed? This is a question for, I think, you guys to comment down below and let me know. Do vampires bleed? I need to know this. Because otherwise, I don't know where that blood has come from. It looks like Setra's doing a decent job in the middle. He is completely surrounded, but trust me, the king that defies gods knows what he's doing in combat. His cape's bellowing. It looks badass. His wheels are skirting and on fire. And he's just doing an absolute stand-up job here. It looks like he's going after that Terrorgeist and really starting to rip him down. Once again, proving what is a god to a king. And Cetra does decapitate the Terrorgeist, shatters it, destroys it, and burns its corpse. The White Kings are next on the agenda. It looks like the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord was able to shut down the majority of the archers who are actually whipping out swords and bravely charged in to their death. I guess it's not really bravely if you're undead. I don't know if they have emotions. The zombies are jumping up and down on top of the skeleton archers. Looks like that's going to be enough to shut them down. It's all going to come into effective cycle charging from the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord. Now, remember, he does have Helm of Discord, which is going to be very, very scary for this remaining blob of Tomb King resistance. Balance power is certainly in favor of the vampire counts at the moment. It will be slightly kind of skewered, though, because there's these 2 units of zombies currently summoned on the battlefield. Cetra is getting down and dirty. He is ramrodding at the enemy corpse carts, which is doing a pretty decent job onto them. They've been alive for a long time, the corpse carts, though, so I'm assuming they've done decent work today on the battlefield. White King is going to get hit, though. The negative 24 melee attack and melee defense is really rough. Tomb King's looking to finish this battle before the Dragon can get involved in action as well, though it seems like there's going to be a spell of his own coming in somewhere here. Heard him overcast. Oh, he popped a sort of anti-heroes on himself and heart pierce. I was wondering if he healed himself there maybe as well. It's a pretty rough fight here in the middle. We have Helm of Discord going down. That's going to be nuking the Tomb King stats. It's kind of funny because they had just indeed nuked the vampire count. So this blob fight has become very, very grindly as these two kind of lettuces just kind of, you know, slap against each other. Hopefully you heard my sound effects there through the microphone and if they were too quiet. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, Invocation Heck has been popped on him indeed. Sort of anti-heroes is active. It's looking really rough right now for the Tomb Kings, but they're still hanging on in there, and anything can happen with Cetra in charge. The Knights are holding relatively effectively, and the Corpse Carts are starting to decease and go down, and they've started to lose their saturation. This is massive. The fact they're losing all of their zombies means Cetra can really get to grips with these single entities and start to assassinate them, as well as these Knights here who can do a similar job. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, though, he doesn't want to give Cetra the chance for a comeback. Is going to be landing and whipping that tail back and forth, attempting to get on top of the undead king, who simply laughs, pulls through his snaky allies there and gets to relative safety. Definitely wants to swoop around though and going for the kill. And the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord, only 1,300 HP. Cetra's got 1.5, but he is Cetra, the imperishable. It does not matter. He does not bow, he does not bend, and he does not serve. The Blood Dragon Vampire Lord looking really worse for wear. Let me just get my words out there. And Cetra is trying to hunt him down. He's getting pinned in by loyal zombies, however. Looks like the Blood Dragon Vampire Lord may be able to escape, yeah, just in time. This loyal zombie right here needs a pay raise. White Kings still alive, just about. We have the Tomb Guard in the middle. So the fact these guys are Tomb Guard rather than Skeleton Warriors makes all the difference in the world. I was wondering how they were holding out so well. They'll carve through the zombies, and they'll probably even carve through at least one of these White Kings. Not, though, with a big dragon cycle charging in the arse, so that tends to not go quite so well. Now, the Tomb Kings have now been hit by another Helm of Discord. Cetra doesn't care, though. He's going to be running into danger nonetheless. Your petty abilities and items are nothing to the might of the imperishable one. Moving in here, doing decent damage. Blood Dragon Vampire Lord is down to 456 HP right now. He does have the Sword of Anti-Heroes popped on him, but I don't think that's going to be enough. Even with all the debuffs he's given to these guys, if Cetra can get down and dirty, it could be enough. He won't be able to cycle charge, though, once those Tomb Guard go down, so definitely to ensure they survive. And Cetra slams into the flank of the dragon, wheels away clumps of rotten flesh on his horses, as he manically laughs after assassinating the enemy general. Despite this, balance power is very 50-50. The Tomb Guard loyally holding on, though. Only 24 models left on them. It seems like the Knights are still fighting. Definitely wants to pick apart this weaker White King first, kill him, finish him off, and make this last White King have no friends on the battlefield, make him feel alone, and then you go in for the kill. And Cetra is doing some cycle charging, Seems to be aiming for the corpse cart first, which is actually starting to crumble, and the Tomb God themselves may have enough about them to beat back at least one White King. They themselves are crumbling as well. It's a pretty brutal fight here in the middle. Setcha comes streaming by, taking the White King with him, dangling him off at the back of his chariot, and laying him to rest. Balance power for the first time in a long time is in favor of the mighty Tomb Kings. Tomb God, only 9 models left, but they're still holding just about. That's going to allow Setcha to wheel around and bring the pain to this White King. 6 models left, and it looks like Setcha actually gets caught up on the corpse of his long-deceased nemesis. Going to take away a lot of his charge speed there, and it is a big, epic fight. The last couple of Tomb God are holding the line, stabbing the White King in the back. 1 Tomb God remains, but unfortunately he does get slaughtered, and it's just a one-on-one fight here left in the sandy plains. The ultimate showdown of ultimate destiny. Setcha, 400 HP left. The White King only 190 though. Setcha shall never bow to no man, no king, and certainly no god. Very well played to ODM's Tretch as well as Mr. Tefel there. Really awesome game, and love to see it in action. Setcha was the real standout by far. 4,193 damage value. Take a bow, good sir. 3.6k on the Blooddragon Vampire Lord is not shabby. I mean, 1.6, 1.2 on the White Kings. It all looks rather impressive, but compared to Setcha's feats, they, shrink and shirk in comparison. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. It was a good fun one. If you did enjoy, make sure to leave a big fat juicy thumbs up and subscribe as well for more content into the future. We're again very, very close to the 10,000 sub mark, which is a pretty cool damn achievement we've been chasing. I really appreciate all the support. Feel free to comment down below if you'd like to see more Warhammer 2 content as well in the future, and what you would like to see. And yeah, all that good normal stuff. There's loads of links in the description: Twitch, Patreon, Discord. You guys already know what all that stuff does. Just in case you don't, Twitch is for where I do occasional extra streams. Patreon is where you can support the channel financially. Massive shout out to all my patrons who keep the channel running. And there's also Discord where you can submit replays, get involved in live streams, and all that good stuff. Until next time, guys, peace, peace. And as always, stay awesome.